Hey, this is Sam Furman. This is my video review for Code 3 of Solomon CEO 10 million plus, which is Code 3 is called the Miracle. It was called the Miracle of Multiplying. Mark changed it after he wrote the course because he realized that had a slightly different meaning, or it had a slightly different intention. And so the Code 3 is actually the Swarming Splendor. And he changed it because he realized the emphasis should really be about you as a leader, or in the context of King Solomon as a king or queen, and getting comfortable with the idea of personally attracting splendor and understanding that splendor can arise from the multiplying swarm that this training from Solomon CEO teaches you to create. And so some pretty deep stuff here. What I really like about what Mark does with these courses is there's always an extrication of from the book of Proverbs, where the original paraphrasing of the scripture is given, and then that there's we step into the present tense where we imagine, things based off of the teachings and the lessons that are in there, and then we go one step further, and there's a application guide, or an integration guide, where you can take these lessons and start integrating them into your life or into your business promptly and immediately. I know for myself, since I've been going through this course, from the first lesson, which is the supremacy of speed, the second one, which is futuristic otaku, and now the third one here, which is with the swarming splendor, that I'm already starting to see changes, and these are just happening over the past couple of days. I've had literally yesterday was Wednesday when I made this recording from yesterday. Is I accomplished so many things that I needed to do, and then also I had the most fun that I think I've had here this year so far, and it was just a great day, and it was so exciting. And I just, because of what I've been learning and implementing, especially with collapsing time and having this obsession with the future, and now learning the magic of building a swarming splendor that that I'm starting to see these positive changes. I've had a lot of joy, and people around me have noticed that. They've noticed a difference. So kind of a sidebar there. But let's talk a little bit about what Mark goes into here with Swarming Splendor. And if you want the full review or the full lesson, you can go to the other YouTube video where I give the full video blog. This is just a quick review. But essentially he talks about, and I'll give the first verse here, that this is a paraphrase, a multiplying or swarming population is the splendor of a king, but starving, needy people is the downfall of a prince. And then the second quotation, which is for 1 Kings 10, 4 and 5, 1 Kings chapter 10, verses 4 and 5. Excuse me, look at my notes here. When the queen of Sheba perceived all the wisdom of Solomon, the house that he had built, the food of his table, the nurture of his servants, the attendance of his waiters in their attire, his cupbearers, and his stairway by which he went up to the house of the Lord, it took her breath away. And what I thought was interesting is basically that she was so impressed by, the splendor of everything that King Solomon had, and this was, a leader from a different nation. So those are the two verses that are given. But when Mark talks about it, he kind of extracts from this and goes into the imagination guide, is that as a leader for your business, that you want to start imagining industry legends, that whatever niche you're in, or industry hopefuls, that they begin to seek out you. It takes you through this imagination process where you step into that creative field, and you imagine that people are seeking you out, that you have an entourage, if you will. And he doesn't use it in the way maybe you think it is, as a negative way, because entourage can mean many things, but it takes you into a process of finding, or imagining the perfect buyer for whatever it is that you're doing, and then stepping into the space of what is possible as you start to scale your business, as you start to become noticed by people in the industry, and essentially all the positive things that can come about that. And stepping into that and creating an intention is what I'm learning is really powerful. Excuse me, losing my notes with the wind here. It's a powerful thing to do, and he walks you kind of through that. And there's a lot of stuff here, and we'll go into it in the full review or the full blog there. But the next part going into the integration guide, he takes you through, kind of and there's a section to print out, but essentially, you go through, figure out who the living legends in your niche are. You start to write this stuff down. And a great question they asked is if they spent 2 days with you, would it take their breath away? Kind of like with Queen Sheba, would they be so impressed with your work ethic and what you're doing, even though maybe you're not number one in the industry, but basically the way you're striving to build your team, nurture your team, create business, would it take their breath away? And or even going back one step before that, does your current level of work and contribution even merit those industry leaders' attention? And it kind of walks you through this process of, hey, even if it doesn't, that's okay. Oh, I'll grab my notes. But that it's something that you should start to strive to move towards, and that there's always these, what he calls these swirling questions that should be in your head, and I'll give you a couple of those. And he really goes into this pretty deep. Hold on here, let's see. But yeah, the questions that you should always be having in your head are, who is your perfect buyer? How can you simultaneously attract, entertain, nurture, educate, terrify, and inspire that buyer to zoom forward in all their dreams? Why should they even care about you? Why should they buy from you right now? And it just goes on and on, these questions that you should always have in your mind, and you should always be thinking about what it is the stumbling block that's going to get in people's way. So there's some other great tidbits here, and check out, like I said, check out the other review, or check out the full blog post here that you'll see on my YouTube page, or if you're on the blog, check out the other video on the blog post. It should be in there somewhere. But if you're wondering if this course is worth it, to buy, everything I've gone through is literally worth millions of dollars. I know it's worth millions of dollars to my business. And as I step into that space where I am in, creating millions of dollars, and that I do have that swarming splendor, I know I'm going to look back at these kinds of videos that I'm making now, and I'm just going to say, this is where it started. And so if there's any doubt in your mind, take it from me. This is high level stuff, and you should definitely get it right away. So to kind of wrap this up, code 3 continues to impress. Can't wait for codes 4 and 5, which are coming up, and I'll have reviews of those here shortly. Otherwise, check out my other videos, and go ahead, and if you are curious what I'm up to or what I'm doing, you want to connect with me personally, look in the description of the video below here if you're on YouTube, and just go ahead and click the link. It should be in there somewhere. You can connect to my blog, or you can connect to my business with what I'm doing. Otherwise, if you're on my blog, there should be a banner, or fill out your email address there on the side and get in touch with me, and let's talk, and let's figure out what it is or where you're at, if you have questions about stuff. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.